Good afternoon, Josh.
What's up, party people?
Hello?
What is your alter ego name? You've got to have one.
Man, I'm thinking on it, and I'll let y'all know. It's got to be something kind of hillbilly-ish, but I haven't determined what that will be yet.
You remind me of Rick Rudd when he used to, brother. Come on, brother.
Are you dating yourself? Is that an old school wrestler or something?
Yes, I might be 53. I might qualify to be able to get my COVID, but at least I can.
You're too funny. Well, good afternoon, folks. Out of respect to everyone's time, we are going to jump in and get started with part 2 of 2 in our new home builders series. We are going to have hopefully 10 different home builders spotlit today. Last week, if you were not able to attend, we had 5 spotlights placed on local builders, and we also had a local builder rep from MI jump on and do a little Q&A session with us and kind of take us through a transaction from start to finish. And it was really educational, and I learned some things, and I'm hopeful that you guys did as well. The purpose of this practice and this series is really just to establish a Rolodex of resources that you can utilize here in the near future when and if you come across people who are looking to build a home. If you're looking in this super low inventory time of the year, and you're struggling to find existing homes, then new builds are wonderful options, and you can find some that are relatively affordable. So at the end of this call, we will record this and we will post it tomorrow on our YouTube page. For those of you who don't know, we have a YouTube page for coaching, and it is called Trailblazing Real Estate. And within that, we house all of our past coachings, as well as a lot of training material. And then you'll see some fun videos from my business, but I house it all together, and we welcome you to come partake in the cornucopia of coaching opportunities. So we do have a couple guests on today, and we are so glad that they're here. Asia, you are back. Welcome. We got Mandy, and let's see who else is on. I'm running through the list here. And Diane is on as well. So hopefully we will give you some good nuggets, and you can help grow your business and be better fiduciaries to your clients. Real quick intro before we get started. For those of you who have opted into leads, we are still routing those leads to you. I know there were a couple hiccups, but hopefully we are now manually distributing those, as our current system through command is not functioning as we are hopeful that it will. Next week, wanted to plant the seed. Next week, we will be discussing in our coaching group lead generation methods. And we will also cover a new reporting tool that we'll be utilizing to better approach each coaching session. I will send out the next 6 weeks worth of coaching topics, so y'all can mentally prepare, and we got some exciting stuff coming up, so I'm pumped about it. Without further ado, though, I want to jump in. We are going to start with Mr. Jason, and he's going to present on Trinity Homes. And then Brendan, if you would be ready, I know you've got an appointment to get to, so Brendan, you will we'll spotlight you second. All right, Mr. Jason.
What's going on, Mr. Josh? Hey, I don't mind if Brendan needs to get out of here. I can go behind Brendan.
I think
he
we're
can go
good.
first. Okay.
I think we're
All right,
good.
well, I'll start. I got Trinity Homes. Trinity Homes has been up and running since 1963. They're found throughout Central Ohio area, Westerville, Powell, Reynoldsburg, Plains City, Pickerington, Pataskala, Grove City, Galena, Etna Township, Dublin, and Delaware. Average price of their homes range between $320,000 and 590,000. As far as compensation for the realtors, yes, the compensation is relatively similar to a 3%. Types of homes they specialize in, I don't really think there were any type of specialties, but the homes I did see were ranch and 2-story homes.
Okay. Now, were you having issues getting in touch with a representative from them?
I did. Last week I called a couple different numbers and got on their website and tried to email them. Eventually they did get back with me about 2 hours later. Spoke to a guy. He's by the name Sean Esker, I believe it was. So yeah.
Great. And what we'll do is we'll ask everyone who's presenting, once you're done presenting, if you don't mind, in the chat box down below, writing the contact that you spoke with and maybe their contact information in case we have a need in the future to look at a Trinity home. That way we've got a resource. So I will also say, I've asked everyone to share their honest experience with trying to get in touch with a rep. I think it's really important that we work with people and affiliate ourselves with people who are able to communicate well. In our industry, we want to be viewed as the best fiduciary for our clients, which means typically we get back to people really quickly. What we are finding is that a lot of these representatives are uncommunicative, or just impossible literally to get in touch with. So throughout the course of these last 2 weeks, by the end of this, we'll have heard from 16 different builders. And there's going to be some that are great at communication, really quick and responsive, and there are going to be some that are just not very good. You may choose to stay away from those that are not very good. Save yourself some hassle if you can. And know what you're getting prepared to do if your client desperately wants, let's say, a Trinity home. You may be in for a little bit of a workload, as Jason found out.
I have a question. Are they a production builder or do they do custom homes?
They can do custom homes as well.
Okay, but they also have developments?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, on the screen here is where they're currently building, and I'm taking this to mean development. So you can see they're really scattered all over the city, mainly north and south. Nothing really in the beltway there. All right, great information. Anything else that would be good information, Jason?
They do have a mortgage company they work with, Developer Mortgage, as well as they have a title company. They go with Columbia Title.
That's good information. A lot of these builders will, as we learned last week, do everything in-house to make it a convenient situation for your buyers. And you should also know that sometimes you're not always getting the best rates if you're going with their in-house lender. And we encourage you to try to look for other opportunities or shop around. And normally when you rate shop, you can advise that in-house lender that you're able to get a better rate elsewhere, and they're typically able to match that. So we want to encourage our customers, our clients, to save as much money as possible. So good call out. All right, let's move on to Brendan with Miranda Homes.
Yeah, I also had a little trouble getting in touch with someone, even just to find a phone number on their primary page there. The only thing, if you were to click contact there, it would only bring up like a message, like submit a message or an email to them. Not really a phone number listed, but when I did get to specific listings, they had a phone number listed, which took me to kind of their internet concierge. She did have some good information, but not a whole lot of specifics like financing and stuff like that. She said I'd have to get in touch with one of their sales reps, but their website is full of a lot of information, and they do even have like kind of a design tool where you can kind of pick different colors and and styles and finishes and see what it would kind of look like in a virtual environment. So I thought that was kind of cool. But they are a family-owned company, and they've been around since 1972. In addition to being throughout the Columbus area, they're in Cincinnati, North Kentucky, Pittsburgh, South Georgia, North Florida, Central Florida, and the Gulf Coast Florida area. In the Columbus area, their homes range from the 240s to the 430s. Their broker compensation, if it's a slab foundation, it's a flat fee of $5,000, and if it's a home with a basement, it's 2.5%. Their homes are mostly just like a contemporary style. I think one of their taglines is kind of like quality new homes at an affordable price. So I don't think there's a lot of custom design. But yeah, that's what I got.
Has anybody heard of Miranda Homes before?
Yep.
Yeah, they've been around for a long time, I feel like.
Does anyone know what the reputation is for Miranda Homes?
Not personally.
They don't have the best reputation, if I'm speaking bluntly. There was a time where they, in fact, had a really bad reputation of building poor quality homes. And so when they say affordable home, there may be a reason for that. I have heard that they have improved their processes and quality. However, I don't have firsthand experience, and don't let me dictate to you guys that you should never use these people. Some of their communities are exactly where your people want to be. And if you're looking for affordability, I would assume that by now they've fixed the builder grade materials they're using, and they're using higher quality stuff, but can't guarantee anything. Fact of the matter is, it's always interesting to me when you want to contact somebody that's going to give you up to a $500,000 product and you can't find a phone number. It just rubs me the wrong way. I'd like to communicate with somebody that's, giving me a big price value thing pretty quickly. So customer service, if it's tough to get a hold of people, not the best first impression. Anything else, Brendan, on Miranda Homes?
I guess more specifically to add on to what you said about quality, I actually have a client lined up who will be listing his home this summer, and he's in a Miranda home, and he purchased it in 2012, and he's made some comments about the quality from a long-term standpoint of some of the finishes, like he's having to replace floors and all that kind of stuff just to get the house ready for sale. But yeah, that's just, I guess, a little personal experience that I've had so far.
Great information. Well, thank you, sir. I know you were having issues, but you found some good information and were able to share it. So thank you. Next up, Miss Lisa, what you got for us? If you're talking, you're on mute.
There. Okay, sorry. I'm in the office and I'm all wired up and I'm not used to that. Okay. So I have Schottenstein Homes, and they've been around since 2007. And obviously they build just single family. I gave you my contact information. Amy Feeney was the person that I spoke to, and she was out in Pataskala, or yeah. And she can sell anywhere. So she was just a really good, I told her I was new and yada, yada. And so she kind of walked me through some things. But they're in Powell, Dublin, Sunbury, Hilliard, Pickerington, and Grove City just sold out. So if you wanted Grove City, you lost out. But they, in the north, Powell and Dublin are in the 400s, and in Pickerington, it goes into the 320s. They do have in Sunbury some freestanding condos as well. Compensation is 3% on the base of a new build. And then if there's a spec home that someone would like, you get 3% on the full price. And I think that's an important question that we need to be asking, because it seems like they're all different in what that 3% means. That I've noticed. It's 10 to 12 months to build right now, contract to close. They have 13 different plans. They do some customizations as well. So not everything is cookie cutter. If you want to do some new drawings, there isn't a charge for the first 5 changes that you want to make, but thereafter it's $150 for any redraws that you need. And they are Energy Star certified. So if you have someone that is conscientious about energy saving, they're a good place to start.
Great. Yeah, that's one of the things you mentioned at the start was a good call out. So most builder reps can cross sell. And what that means is that if they're located like the person you were talking to out here in Wellington Park, they can still have access to all the information and inventory all in these other communities, typically. So if you've got a great rapport, like let's say I had a great rapport with Eric from last week who builds an MI and he was over here, but my clients were over here. I'll be honest, this happened to me. So my clients were looking over here. If you can see my cursor, but I knew Eric's development that I had good interactions with was over here. I actually called him after having a bad experience with the rep over here. Like I just didn't click with her and she didn't seem very responsive. So I called him up and he was able to pull all the information. So I was working with somebody who was going to give my client the best results and information. And I trusted that they were going to do a good job. What can you revisit the 3% on the total price? What were you saying about their compensation?
So, everyone has been saying, oh, they offer 3%, but does that 3% mean that they offer 3% on the base price? Because some of them only offer it on the base price. Any upgrades that they make, you don't get 3% off of that. If it is a spec home that's already built though, they will give you the full 3% off of the total price of the home.
Right.
So that's something that you need to ask as well, because I mean, I've been listening to the other presenters, and when somebody says 3%, they maybe just didn't know to ask is what does that 3% mean? Because we're all new to this, right?
Yeah, absolutely. This is a great call out. And so the reason you had me concerned was because I'm in contract with a Schottenstein home, and I was pretty sure I read the contract to state 3% of the base price. And what I heard you say was 3% of the total price. I was like, did I just get screwed?
You did.
And,
If it wasn't a spec home,
correct.
you did.
Yeah, it was not a spec home. So,
But I think 9 to 10 months is a good build time, because some are 12, 14, 16 months right now.
yeah, we're going to be, this is going to be a 10-month build, unfortunately. So again, if you weren't on last week, the cost and the price of materials continues to go up every single month. We actually, true story here on Schottenstein. So my clients drove through this neighborhood in Heather Ridge, and they were really intrigued by it. And they drove through on a Sunday, February 28th. I contacted the rep right away once I found out that they were interested. And she said, is there any way you can get your clients in to talk to me today? Because tomorrow prices go up $15,000 on every model. And the reason for that is construction costs and the cost of materials. All these contractors and stuff are finding getting materials very challenging. So if you do have people that are thinking of building, you want to get them in before the end of the month, because odds are at the start of the month, all these places are increasing their prices.
Yeah, and I think that's a good reason to make friends with these reps, because if you've got a relationship with them, then they'll tell you, hey, I know you brought some people by next week, we're going up in price.
Yeah, and not to throw shade at any other builders in here, but we were me and our clients we were between Schottenstein and another builder, and Schottenstein was offering some incentives. Every builder will offer an incentive or like a price reduction just because. And sometimes that flushes out at the end, like they had already marked it up. So it's not really a big bonus. But these guys were giving great incentives, and ultimately their builds for the same exact features and amenities, they were going to save, my guys were going to save over $20,000, $30,000 going with Schottenstein. So they signed quickly, saved 15 grand in construction costs increasing, and kumbaya. I'll report back January next year when hopefully we're moving in.
And can I just quickly mention that my contact with EPCON reached out to me again this week to see if we wanted to do a lunch and tour. So if anybody's interested, she said she could do any day of the week other than Mondays. But she'd like to give us a tour of all of the EPCON properties.
Wonderful, wonderful. And we will hear about EPCON from Rory here shortly. But next up, Mr. KC, talk to us about Rockford Homes.
Well, so Rockford Homes, these guys have been in business since 1985, family-owned business. It's third generation. Robert Yoakum Sr. started the company. They've been located at the same office for about 25 years. It's passed down to two generations. So it's the Robert Yoakum III is the current president and CEO for it. Areas of Columbus that they're building, there's 19 communities, with the majority of them in the northern areas such as Dublin, Plain City, Delaware, and Powell, with other communities in central Ohio and even east, and a few southern communities. Price range for them, if you go towards southern, some of their developments, they range from anywhere from $260,000 to as high as $750,000. Most of the communities are in the $375 to $550 range. Good news, Realtor Compensation is 3% at contract. So you don't have to finish, it doesn't have to be the finish a build. We get paid prior to possession. And again, good point Lisa was talking about, it is whatever is contracted. So if you went in there with them and they changed that spec house, and they added the full basement, and they added all these other things on there, if you get those added on there, you're getting 3% of that finished total price. Now, if there's any changes after contract, you do not get any of it. So style, best way to describe it when I was talking to my contact there, American farmhouse is one of the things they kind of like to call it, colonial or craftsman. I guess that's the word, because it's, it's kind of a mix. It's not anything specific for them. Of the anything else, largest family-owned home builder in Central Ohio. They have move-in ready homes, and this is a good thing, in communities or spec houses. So for each of the communities, they usually put 4 to 10 spec houses that are in there that are starting to be built. They're not sold. These are ones you can go in there. When they say move-in ready, it means that it's not built to, you don't buy the lot and then go. They've already picked the design of the home for that lot. They've started the construction of it. So I have a client right now who's looking at one of the ones what they call a spec house. So it is, we're about 6 months away from that. And we're looking at, a perfect time right now is because if my clients want to change anything, they can do it now. One of the big things that my client was looking at is they want to have a finished basement, and it's much easier and very cost effective to have it done prior to being the house finished. You can save on this, you'll probably save 15 grand to have that basement finished. And then you have the equity of adding on that space. My clients want to look to have a bathroom down there and possibly even a bedroom downstairs. You can still modify their spec houses. Most of the new builds, and I asked them what's their timeline, and they said 7 to 9 months to start. And I know building, and I said, so I asked, how realistic is that? What's the average delay for most of the homes? Their average delay right now is running 3 to 6 weeks. And most of that is due to materials and labor have an issue with items being finished. I'm currently working with Tara. She does the northern communities like Harvest Point and Glenmead, Jerome Village. And she's been really, really great. It was funny when I was trying to find out information last week about Rockford Homes. I just happened to and I found one of spec homes, and I've got clients, my neighbors that have been looking, and so I started talking to her. She was very responsive, gave me the information. I sent Josh, you guys kind of saw what was there. She sent me information on the lot, on, so how the house is placed on it, what the current specs are in there, what's the market for it. So, changes that you can make to it. She even gave me a number. She said, if you want to do changes like of counters and tile and backsplash, she said you could look at about $20,000 to $30,000 additional in cost. So, but I've had a really good response from them. They do have a good reputation. I have a few people that have, neighbors and friends of mine that have a Rockford home, and they've been pleased with the response and the quality of the work.
Really good information, man. And I will say also that this community right here that you see on my screen, I actually did call and speak with Tara as well. And I pulled this up and are dwelling on this for a reason. So communities build in phases. And that's something important to know. For this particular community, I want to say that they were pretty well sold out on all the highlighted stuff. But there was going to be a new section. You see this new section right here, release March 2021. How Rockford does it, because we were very interested in building back on this road that hadn't even gone in yet. They do a lottery where it's first come, first serve, and you have to put your name in to reserve a lot. And so, or not first come, first serve, that you get a spot in the lottery by signing up like now. And then I don't know how they do it, spin the wheel or whatever. And then they call you to get your lot reserved, but you've got to have the deposit ready. But for many communities, they will go in multiple phases. So just because something's sold out right now doesn't mean you shouldn't ask, hey, is there going to be a phase 2? If somebody really loves a geographic location and are willing to wait a little bit, it might be another option for your guys.
The other good thing, like Josh would talk about, is when you're going to new builds, also ask about lot premiums. Some of them can go extremely high very quickly. Ours, like the lot premium for this one was only $8,000, but if you went on a corner lot, it went to $30,000. So whatever they say when their price of the house is on a lot that is just a $0 lot. If they say their house range from $550, that means that's without a $0 lot. But again, like I said, we were lucky. We got a nicer, it was like 3.93 acre or 0.393 acres. So it was a larger lot. And that's what my clients really wanted. They wanted something because they've got 2 boys that they want to have space in the back where they can have them run around. The back corner was perfect for it.
Yeah, and be wary, guys. Don't just sign up for a lot blindly. You got to make sure there's no power lines running through the back. You want to make sure that it's meeting all your clients' demands. All right, thanks, Casey. Good job.
Sure.
Chelsea, are you on? I know you're having some technical issues here.
I think I'm good now. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I just had to hotspot it up and get my computer turned on. Okay, so I had Pulte Homes, and I had an appointment set with Christy from Pulte Homes, and our communication was great. And then I don't know what happened, and she completely ghosted me. So I did not have my meeting with her. So not someone I would probably recommend, just for that purpose itself.
I have
or for that
also been
reason.
ghosted by Christy. Just
Did you?
Uh-huh.
Well, then, yeah. So I wouldn't bother with her. But anyway, because I did get ghosted, I just tried to do some research and find out whatever answers I could on my own. They've been building for over 70 years. They were founded in 1950. They have built almost 750,000 homes across the United States. They're considered the 3rd largest home builder in over 40 major cities. As far as Columbus and surrounding areas, they build in Pickerington, Grove City, New Albany, Westerville, Lewis Center, Dublin, and Hilliard. The price ranges that I found within these communities, base price, there was a pretty big range between 265, so like mid 200s to low 500s. 510 was the highest base price that I came across. They do work with realtors and compensate them at 2.5%. Again, just to echo what Lisa was saying, it's 2.5% of base price. As far as style and specialty, I didn't really find any like verbiage about it, but just looking through the communities, it seems that they do ranches with more of like a cottage style. And then they also do 2-story, kind of a more modern build. Time frame from first dig to finish, they say approximately 7 months. And that's about what I was able to dig up.
All right, great first impression from Chelsea and Nicole for Pulte. That's disappointing, and I know you all tried, so thank you for your effort, and thanks for digging up the information you did. It's important to note consistent habits. So what was the lady's name that we want to avoid?
Her name is Christy. I never even got a chance to find out her last name.
Okay, we'll avoid Christy.
Yeah.
All right.
She's the face that pops up for all of the Pickerington, Grove City, New Albany communities. She's the face that pops up on all of them, but
yeah, I would say, I don't know about you guys, but it feels like as I'm out driving around, I see probably the most, I would say, MI signs. And then Pulte feels like it's up there in terms of the number of signs I see throughout the city. So you know that they're building and they must be doing a decent job. Would have been beneficial on their end to have 20 agents hear a good story about communication instead of a bad one. All right. Rory, would you like to share on EPCON?
Yes. Okay, I had a great experience with EPCON. I spoke to Victoria Phoebus and she was super thorough. They've been in business for 30 plus years and they're locally owned. There's 2 owners that live here in Columbus, Ohio. They are in 21 states that they build in. They have 9 communities in Columbus and one of those is Grove City. And they're in Upper Arlington, New Albany, Gahanna, Grove City, Jerome Village, Lewis Center, up around the Powell area. They have a couple different homes. And what they pride themselves on is luxury ranch style homes. And their target market are empty nesters. They really boast about their private courtyards and they have a beautiful wall of windows that look out over the courtyards. Their models are really, really nice. And they have advanced design and they're very proud of the fact that they maximize the space within the homes. They have low HOA or condo fees, and they think that really goes a long way in comparison to the competition. Their outdoor living is really nice, and they really focus on natural light in the homes. So their competition is Bob Webb and Romanelli, and their price ranges are anywhere from $340,000 up into the 5s. And once you break ground, it's going to take about 120 days with them. And then she told me their average on upgrades are about 15% of your base price. Something sort of cool that they do is after they build your home for you, they hire an outside inspector to come in and inspect the home. And if there are any things that need to be changed or fixed, they will do that before you close on the property. And they pay 3% commission, and that 3% goes up to any of their upgrades. So I was very impressed with them.
Wonderful. I love that we're doing a feature here on EPCON because it really is a different style of builder. And so they're all slab, right?
Mm-hmm. They are slab, but you can do a bonus room above the garage, which is really, really huge. That can be a 4th bedroom, depending on which plan you're going with.
You will always know when you're in an EPCON community because their style is very, it's all uniform. The windows all have I don't know what you call it, an arched window above it. So you'll always know that's kind of the EPCON signature. Very desirable communities. In my 3 years here as a realtor, I ran into a client who wanted into a specific EPCON community based off their location. And luckily I was cold calling around and found somebody who was going to sell, because if these homes go to market, they are outrageous bidding wars for them. Their quality is fantastic, and I can speak from experience. And to your point, most of these communities are going to be your older clientele that want to downsize, one level living, and a home that is going to accommodate their lifestyle. So they also typically, I don't know if you said this or not, I didn't hear, but they have like your typical apartment complex. They've got pools and nice little community centers. I've got friends that have like game nights and stuff over there. Very nice facilities.
They also have the workout facility within that community center.
Yeah.
The other thing that they do that I didn't mention, which is they are very, very particular about what land they buy. And the land that they buy, they want it close to retail stores, restaurants, and just where it would be desirable within a short distance to be able to get to. So that was another point.
I had a question, Roy. I thought that some of the EPCON that I've been to, they would add a basement, but it was like $35,000. But they said that isn't an option at all.
I'm pretty sure she said it wasn't. And I don't know. I will get back with her and ask that. But
okay. I may have just mistaken it with another development, but I was just curious.
Melody, I think I'm with you on that one. I think that it is specific on which community it is and which lot. Okay. So not all of them, not every lot can have one, as far as I know. And then maybe you mentioned this also, but EPCON builds to Carolina code. Did you talk about that?
I did not.
Okay, so their standards as far as their building material is the same in North Carolina, which has hurricanes and heavy rain and wind. So we had a client that was concerned about basements. And so that was something that they spoke to, was that the way that they do their footers and all the other stuff, building materials, they use the same down in North Carolina where they get hurricanes. So
okay.
Just an FYI, if you've got people that are wanting a basement, they do talk about safety as far as those features as well.
Great.
In my experiences, I have seen an EPCON with a basement, but to your point, it probably will cost a pretty penny. Great information. Now, also, Lisa, I believe you mentioned potential tours with the EPCON representative in the area. Do we have any more information on that?
Well, I just told her I went back to her last week and said, give us a day and a time or a few days to try to get everybody on board. And she said any day but Monday. So it's up to us to pick our day and decide.
Okay. Cool. Well, if you guys decide on a date and time, give the rest of the group, we've got these group text threads. I'm sure it'd be a really nice educational opportunity for us.
And some free lunch.
Boom, baby. Yeah. All right. Good stuff, guys. Thanks, Rory. How about we go with Jay?
Hey guys, so I was doing Syntex. I actually got a hold of Christie. I'm not sure if it's the same Christie or not. But they've been in business since 1950. What's crazy is Pulte actually bought them out back in 2009. So for Syntex, they have 4 locations: Westerville, Johnstown, Hebron, and Bloomfield, which is south of Columbus. Price range 229 to 500. Hebron's the low end. Westerville's a high end on that number. They do compensate 3%. Their styles ranch, 2 stories. She said like current trend or traditional style. About 4 to 8 months to build. And they're closed. Their spec homes are closed on Thursdays and Fridays.
That's a good call out. I feel like all these big guys are closed on Thursdays and Fridays. I guess I don't understand the why on the industry standard there. I would think that people would be out and about on Fridays and want to check it out, but is what it is. So if you're inquiring about a home on a late Wednesday or Thursday, Friday, do not anticipate a callback until Saturday. That's been my experience.
The girl, one of mine, said they get slammed on the weekends, and they're there easily 10 to 12 hours over that, each of those days. That's why it's because it's usually just a team that's at the model. So I've seen it's either 1 or 2 days where they give them off, and it's also so they can clean the model.
Good information. So Jay, one thing you said that resonated, they're owned by Pulte now, which I figure there was some affiliation there. I always see Pulte and Syntex signs together, but Pulte was, it was said that they pay 2.5% and Syntex pays 3%.
That's what she said. Yeah, 3%.
Interesting.
Who was the rep you had?
Her name was Christy, but I'm not sure if it's the same Christy where Chelsea had an issue with.
What time was your appointment? I wonder if you stole Chelsea's.
I don't know.
Joking. So did you get a chance to get a feel for quality of build or?
They're sort of like Miranda Homes. I mean, it's not the best quality. It's sort of like a starter home. I should have asked about the condo fees because I know they have them. I just didn't, I guess, based on location.
No problem.
Yeah, she acted like she wanted to get off the phone pretty quickly. So I just kind of blew through the questions real quick just to, why I had her on the phone. She seemed like she was busy.
All right. Well, thank you for this information. Michael, you got Fisher Homes.
Yes, so they were founded in Kentucky and they've been building for 41 years. In Ohio, they're located in Cincinnati, Dayton, and Columbus. And in the Columbus area, they're located in Blacklick, Canal Winchester, Delaware, Grove City, Hilliard, Lockburn, Marysville, Pataskla, Pickerington, Plain City, South Bloomfield, and Sunbury. For the price range, they go from anywhere from $240,000 to $600,000. However, on their website, I saw that it went higher than that. So I don't know if she was just misinformed or something. They do compensate realtors. The realtor has to be the primary cause and attend the initial visit, and then it's 2%. They don't have like a specialty thing or anything, but like if you go on their website, they have specialty lines where they'll make like similar homes for, I think it's just neighborhood based, but if you want to do a custom home, they can do like anything like split level or 2-story or ranch or whatever. And she wanted me to mention that they don't restrict you. That's kind of what sets them above the rest. So like if you want to buy a house for $240,000 and then spend another $100,000 on a kitchen, they'll let you do that. So yeah.
Good information. Anyone have any experience with these guys?
looked at the ranch community out out by Sunbury. Seemed pretty good quality that they're doing, but that's all I really knew.
Yeah, if you guys get a chance to attend the BIA Parade of Homes ever, it is an awesome opportunity to see what different builders are doing. So if you've never been, or if you don't know what I'm talking about, the Parade of Homes is something that we typically see done every year in the Columbus general metro area. And it spotlights, they invite different builders to highlight their communities that they're building in. So let's go back 2 years ago, 2 years? Yeah, 2 years ago to Evans Farms was where they conducted the Parade of Homes. And Evans Farm is located up here near Westerville area. And there were all these different builders. So Fisher Homes, Bob Webb, some of these other guys were there as well. And they build their creme de la creme home. And so you can walk through it. I think admission, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe $15 or something for a ticket. And you get a chance to walk through and see the height of fashion. And honestly, as a realtor, I say you need to go to this thing because it's almost like you're doing your homework on what's the next best trends. Because they will plug these homes in with like the newest, latest, greatest amenities. You will see some things that will blow your mind, especially when it comes to like game rooms and basements and man caves and wine rooms. And it's just incredible. Kitchens. It was there a couple of years ago that I saw gold like fixtures coming back into play. And now you see gold in a lot of fixtures, in a lot of homes. So what you see there is normally about a year ahead of the trends that you're going to see. So I know Fisher Homes because I visited a rep up there. My first year, I was just trying to establish some connections with some folks and established a good one with a gentleman named Josh, who was a representative in the North Star community. North Star community is located right there on the golf course, North Star. They had I want to say it was like a 9-home parade of homes up there. This was 5 or 6 years ago. But Fisher Homes has a community up there and just great stuff. They do build in all kinds of different price ranges, and they are really good at communicating. In my opinion, their reps are good at communicating with potential prospective buyers. So to whoever said it, Casey or Michael's point, if your client wants to stay at 240, they can do that. Or if they want to, build up a crazy kitchen, then you have access to that. So they were very low pressure, and they definitely followed up, and their communication was really good, I thought. So they get high marks from myself. Anything else about Fisher, Michael?
No, I think that was it. I got a hold of them pretty easily, and they're nice.
Very good. All right. Now, Dana, I know that it was my goof last week. I gave Sparkle Westport Homes, who had been purchased by D.R. Horton. And so D.R. Horton was your baby. Do you have any more information on them, or were you able to look into the other builder I gave an option of?
I absolutely have some information about 3 Pillar Builders, and it's awesome information. So you don't know. Got me in the middle of my kiddos transportation route today.
I'm sorry. Are you able to talk? Or do you want me to come back to you?
Nope, we're good. I'm parked. We're good. Okay, so 3 Pillars is a local Columbus, Ohio builder. Xenios is the owner. He is from Cyprus, Greece. He learned contracting and building from his dad, and he went to Ohio State, and he decided to stay here and start building. And so they are your one-stop shop for luxury homes. They start around $450. Their average is about mid 600s. They do everything. They can find you your lot. They can build on your existing lot. If you have an existing lot and you need a contractor's to permanent mortgage loan, they can help you there. They handle permits. What else? They are very, they're very, like I said, high end. They're very much like Bob Webb designs, where it's kind of like that Mediterranean meets farmhouse type of design. Mostly 2-story homes, minimum 2 garage, 3 garage. I've seen some 4 and 5 bays. What else? Oh, and they also do basement refinishing. So if you need a basement refinisher, they are a really good resource. Their finishes are amazing. Oh, and they do compensate realtors 3% on the entire house. And I literally put in an email inquiry, and within 15 minutes, I had a call from a woman named Rachel. So
Wow.
she was super helpful. Actually, we're thinking about using them to refinish our basement. So
That's awesome information. I did not know about the basements. That's cool.
yeah. What else? Yeah.
I know that I've seen some stuff up here in the Westerville, Delaware area, and their stuff looks incredible. Looks very pretty.
They are primarily in Dublin, Powell, Lewis Center, Plain City, and Grove City. But yeah, I have seen some things in Westerville as well.
Well, thank you for pivoting and getting some information on short notice. Good job. That's great info. All right. The last piece of the puzzle here is from Katie. Katie is not present with us, so we're going to do this old school. I'm going to hold my phone up to the video, and she's going to tell us she filmed a video about Bob Webb. If you guys would keep Katie and her family in your thoughts. She had to travel to Australia. Her mother-in-law had a stroke and is not doing well. And so she is on her way right now to Australia. So please keep her and her family in your thoughts.
Today. I asked Josh to just play you guys this video. I did get the information from Bob Webb for the project, but unfortunately I was unable to make it to coaching today. So I will just kind of break down the information. If you guys do have any questions in regards to Bob Webb, because they did give me a lot of information I probably won't cover in this video, feel free to email me or text me. Actually, don't text me, I'll be out of country. So email me if you have any questions, if you wanted to know anything else. So I went to one of their model homes, and she gave me a kind of brief overview of, we walked through the home, and she was showing me all the different upgrades and things that they offer. And it was honestly really cool. It was a beautiful home. So for how long they've been building, definitely a long time, very experienced, over 60 years. She didn't give me an exact date, but they've been building for over 60 years. Bob Webb, the guy that actually started it, she was telling me he's like 80 years old, and he still drives to the office every day and is interacting with all the staff and everything. So seems like a pretty family oriented business for sure. What areas they build, they're building in Plain City, currently Powell, Dublin, Westerville. And then she was also telling me they're kind of just on the north end, but they also are kind of moving elsewhere as well. So they've just bought recent land in New Albany, but they're not building there until 2022. And then to answer the question of if they build on like a personal lot that you have, she said absolutely. The only thing is, like, as long as it's in their jurisdiction or it makes like sense for them to build there. Price ranges, she said that they've recently, it used to be around 600 plus, so about 600,000 to 2 millions. But the price ranges, she said they've recently got a different community that they've actually lowered the price ranges. So now it's about 400,000 to 2 millions. Do they compensate realtors? I have asked. She did not know, and I did not have time to get the information. She said they often do work with realtors, but she's unsure of the compensation involved with that. So I didn't get the compensation, but I'm thinking from what she was telling me, it sounded like they do somehow work with realtors. So I imagine that there would be some sort of compensation involved, but unsure of what that would be. Do they have a specialty or style they focus on? She kind of was just saying that they're really good about like listening to their customers and making homes pretty custom. As much as they have floor plans, she was saying all the time they will push out walls and do things to make the home a little bit more custom to whoever is building it. One thing that they also have this really cool feature in all of their homes. She did say the ones that are in the lower 400,000s, they're kind of taking this feature out just to keep the price low, but they have a thing called a messy kitchen. And basically what it is, it was super cool. It's this little like nook. It's almost kind of like a walk-in pantry size. At least the one I was in, I've seen on their website, there's some bigger ones. But it's basically just a small, like, it's slightly like a pantry. There's like a door on it and they've got like countertops. She said you can put like your dishwasher in there or anything, but kind of coffee bar type feel. Just to keep things out of the kitchen kind of. So that's kind of a feature they do in most of their homes. She did say that they weren't doing that in the $400,000 homes necessarily because it was a bit more of an expensive feature. The other thing that was a kind of interesting, she told me when we went to the basement, so when they finish basements, they try, unless the homeowner decides they don't want it, they try to put this specific vinyl flooring in the basement that is actually water resistant. So if there is water leakage at any point in the basement, the floor is usually water resistant unless the homeowner decides to go elsewhere. But yeah, that's pretty much all that I did get in regards to Bob Webb. If you guys do have any other questions, feel free to reach out to me via email. I will do my best to give you any more information I learned from her. But otherwise, have a good week. Bye, guys.
All right. One thing she said there, and I want to make sure we put some fact behind the verbiage. She said that they could build spaces out. So if you guys talk to any reps and they mentioned a bump out, can anyone explain what a bump out is? Nobody knows?
I would say it's similar to what you see like in big RVs and, you know, all of that, where they have only be permanent. So where like they might have a dining room, they can build an extension out from that room. So it gives you additional square footage.
Exactly. And so what you'll hear when you're talking to a lot of reps is there are options for bump outs. So a 4-foot bump out in the living room gives the person 4 feet of extra space, literally top and lower level. So that's just one piece of verbiage that you will now understand. We've got 2 minutes left. Really good stuff, guys. I'm so proud of y'all for presenting such a great job. If you didn't present, thanks for attending. And we hope to see your faces in the future. We do coaching every Thursday from 1 to 2, and we cover a vast array of topics. So that is my plug for coaching. Any questions on new builds? All right. Next week, guys, let's make sure that we are ready to talk about lead generation. We'll talk about different methods. And we really just want to do this to get back to basics. So we've talked about new builds, which is great over the last 2 weeks, but we haven't talked about our one big thing, which is always lead generation. In order to run a successful business, we've got to be in touch with people, right? And we've got to be letting everyone in our world know that we are realtors. So we'll talk about how to do that and different methods. So hopefully you'll have a wonderful week. Let's make sure we're getting our 100 contacts, 100 real estate contacts, and let's see us get some deals. I want to also celebrate while we're at it. We've had some closings here recently. Mr. KC is on the board. Big old closing. Congratulations, KC.
Thank you.
Mr. Jason has had a couple in contract. He's got one for sure still in contract, right?
Yep.
Good deal. Rory has had several closings. Rory's tearing it up, guys. If you want to bend Rory's ear, she's doing great things. She's got investors on the line and all kinds of stuff. So she's doing wonderful work. And then Chelsea, you've got something in contract. Really good job. And everyone else is doing a lot of good work. So I'm proud of y'all. Let's go hit the ground running and let's get some business. Talk to you later.
Thank you.
Thanks, bye.